friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to take you along and show you how to make an easy sourdough bread recipe that is artesian, crispy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside, and so delicious. So first we started off with freshening our sourdough starter, and this is how you know that your sourdough starter is ready to go. See how you can see the bubbles all the way through in the glass, and you can also see that I started off freshening it. It was down here and it has tripled in size. So now you know that this is active and ready to go. The sourdough bread recipe is super easy. I'm just going to use 3 cups of bread flour this time. You can do it with all-purpose flour. I usually use all-purpose flour, but today I want it to be extra fluffy. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my sourdough starter ready. I'm actually going to be using 2 cups of active sourdough starter. This is just my easy sourdough bread recipe for beginners. So I am going to measure out 2 cups of active sourdough starter. I don't stir that down or anything, I just do it like that. And then I'm gonna add 1 cup of warm water. And give that a little stir with my Danish whisk. Okay, and then I've got 3 cups of bread flour, and I am going to a lot of people wait to add their salt, but I'm just gonna add my salt now. And I usually do just add my salt, it's much easier. It might rise a little bit slower, but not much. And it's just 1.5 teaspoons or 1/2 tablespoon of salt. You can use kosher salt, you can use table salt, you can use pink Himalayan salt, they all work. And I am just going to add my sourdough starter mixture right into my flour. Just need to take a break and put my apron on so I don't get my dress all dirty, because I'm going to start kneading this dough now. I have mixed it with my Danish whisk until it's shaggy, but it's too thick to keep stirring with my Danish whisk. So now I am going to knead it by hand after I get all the dough off of my Danish whisk. And this process does get a little bit messy, but it's really fun. So just put on an apron or wear something you don't care about. So you're just gonna knead it until the flour is all mixed in, and that's it. It'll be a little bit shaggy, and that's fine. You just cover it with a clean towel and let it rise for an hour or 2, and then we're gonna start doing our stretch and folds. I like to let my sourdough rise in a warm spot, like a preheated oven. Mine always has a pilot light on, and so it's not turned on, but it's nice and warm here. And if I am feeling very ambitious, I will actually let it rise inside a preheated oven, and that will almost double, or actually almost decrease your rising time by half. This dough has been rising for about 2 hours now, so I'm going to do my first set of stretch and folds. You just grab one end, pull it up about 8 inches, fold it over the other side, rotate your bowl about 90 degrees, and do that on at least all 4 sides of your dough until you really can't do it anymore. And this just, it builds tension in it and helps it keep its shape, and then it also traps the air bubbles inside the dough and helps make it nice and airy. But it also develops the gluten so that your bread is nice and elastic and chewy on the inside. I have done 4 sets of these stretch and folds, and I'm actually now, I would usually put it in the refrigerator for a bulk ferment overnight, but I am going to cook this right now because my boys are coming home from fishing and everyone's going to be really hungry, and this is nice and fluffy. I'm pretty sure it's going to bake up really nice. So I am going to do a final shaping right now, and I'm just doing that by pulling the edges together, pinching the seams with my fingers. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I am going to build tension by pushing it back and forth on the counter and kind of folding the edges under so that you have a nice top, a smooth top. And then I will go ahead and transfer that onto my parchment paper, score the top, and put it into my preheated cast iron Dutch oven, which is preheating at 400 degrees in the oven right now. And then I will bake it for 25 minutes with the lid off, remove the lid, and bake it for another 25 minutes with the lid off. So first you bake it for 25 minutes with the lid on, and then you bake it for 25 minutes with the lid off, sorry. I always seem to do the same scoring pattern, but any way you score it, this is gonna turn out really good. You don't want to press too hard when you're scoring. You just want to slit the top skin of the bread so that it has somewhere to expand when it is baking. Okay, I didn't get it on video, but I did take the lid off after 25 minutes and let it bake for another 25 minutes. You can always let it bake longer if you like a dark loaf. I like mine to be lighter, but this has a nice belly on it, and you can see by the score marks that it has puffed up and risen very nicely, even though it didn't have an overnight rise in the refrigerator. I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe as much as we did tonight. I will leave a link in the description box below so that you can print the recipe card. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and we'll see you next time.